Welcome back to the Daily Bread Bible Study. We are looking at day 38 for Friday, February 7th, 2020, focusing on Numbers chapters 1 and 2. We have read through 3 books of the Bible, and we are looking at the 4th book, of the Old Testament, of the Pentateuch, and we are looking at the book called Numbers here in our English translation. It should be stated that the book of Numbers is not only a book of numbers, even though today we will look at those numbers specifically. But the book of Numbers is more, as I see it, kind of a continuation of the book of Exodus, and picking up in kind of the same characters with Moses and Aaron and the Israelites and their interactions as they are wandering towards the promised land. So we'll see more of that story and some repeated kind of themes coming along with the hardness of mind and heart of the Israelites and the grumbling that they might have as they complain about being in the wilderness there for those 40 years. So we'll look at this story and we'll see a little bit about it, and we'll get into some of the other discussion for that. So God's people are moving from Sinai towards the promised land of Canaan, and we'll see all the leadership challenges with Moses along with that too. So the setting is that they are starting in the month after the tabernacle is made. So this is year number 2 in the wilderness, and on the first day of the first month, after they left there on the Passover and left Egypt, that they instituted worship in the tabernacle. Now, the second month of the second year is where we have the book of Numbers picking up, and it looks like they are trying to count everybody. It says in Exodus 40:17, in the first month, in the second year, on the first day of the month, the tabernacle was set up. And then Numbers 1:1 says, the Lord spoke to Moses in the wilderness of Sinai in the tent of meeting on the first day of the second month, in the second year after they had come out of the land of Egypt. So just picking up where Exodus leaves off. Moses is instructed to count and organize the people, requiring a census, and this census also serves as a way to count everybody able to go to war. So in order to operate, to be orderly, we see that 12 leaders are appointed below Moses and Aaron, following the 12 ancestral tribes of Israel. So we'll see in Numbers 1:16 it says, these were the ones chosen from the congregation, the leaders of their ancestral tribes, the heads of the divisions of Israel. So just remember that the 12 tribes of Israel mean different things at different times. Right here, they're talking about the ancestral tribes, or that's not even the term that I think is used most often. But these are not the 12 sons of Jacob. These are not the sons that were born to him. Joseph is not included here, except in the fact that his 2 sons, Manasseh and then Ephraim, are given inheritance as full tribe members here for the ancestral tribes. Also, the tribe of Judah is the tribe of Judah is there, but the tribe of the tribe of Levi is not there. And so the Levites are not included in the census. They're not included in this, 12 heads, the ancestral heads of the tribes. They are not included here in that. So we see that Joseph's inheritance was split between his 2 sons, and then the Levi's sons were not depended upon for battle, but instead called to minister as priests, as it says there in Numbers. So Levi's sons will not get the official land disbursement as one of the 12 tribes. Just a reminder that they will not get the official land disbursement when settling Canaan. But Levi's sons will get some sanctuary, and they'll also be in charge of the sanctuary. They'll get some cities to oversee. They will get to own land. It's going to be referenced in Joshua 21 on day 70. That will be March 10th, 2020. So something to look forward to for a while from now. But they will get property designated to them. They'll be able to have land and cattle. I had said that incorrectly previously, that they were just going to get no land, but they do have some land, but it's from the portion that their fellow brothers, the fellow ancestral tribe leaders, will give to them on behalf of the promises made in the covenant. But we'll look at that a lot later. Now to the numbers part of Numbers. Let's look at all the numbers. So there are tribes, and they have been counted, and we see that we'll go over the fun statistics of it. So Reuben, 46,500. Simeon, 59,300. Gad, 45,600. Judah, 74,600, the largest tribe of all of them. Issachar, 54,400. And Zebulun, 57,400. Ephraim had 40,500. Manasseh, 32,200. Benjamin, 53,400. Dan, 62,700. Asher, 41,500. Naphtali, 53,400, for bringing us, if you add up all of those, you get a total of 603,500 individuals there. And so that's what they say coming up in Numbers 1:45 through 47. So the whole number of the Israelites by their ancestral houses, not by the 12 sons, 12 literal sons, I should say, from 20 years old and upward, everyone able to go to war in Israel, excluding the Levites, their whole number was 603,550. So 50, where'd the 50 come from? Well, I imagine they were just rounding all those numbers, but it's 550 is the official. Then in 47, it says, the Levites, however, were not numbered in the ancestral tribe along with them. Yes. The Levites alone were tasked with handling the sacred tasks in connection with the tabernacle. So they were the ones to physically handle all of the objects there of the sanctuary. It says in Numbers 1:53, the Levites shall camp around the tabernacle of the covenant, that there may be no wrath on the congregation of the Israelites. So let's get a little bit into Numbers chapter 2, as it talks a little bit more about this arrangement regarding the different camps. So we have the camps numbered, and we know the tribes number, but now what we're going to do is position them. And so here is another, now you have to put on your geometric hat and try and be able to imagine how all of these will go. So you have the tribe of Judah, the largest tribe, and it's to camp to the east side towards the sunrise, and that's with Issachar and Zebulun and those tribes, but it will be called the segment of Judah there in the west or east. Reuben was to camp to the south side with Simeon and Gad, that collection. The Ephraim was to camp to the west side with Manasseh and Benjamin, and Dan was to camp with the north side there with Asher and Naphtali. So you've got this juxtaposition all of this, and this moment in time, I'd like to say, just it'd probably be easiest to just look it up on Google to find an image search of Numbers 2 Bible, because if you just do Numbers 2, then it'll probably just give you a list of the number 2. But Numbers 2 Bible for an image search will be able to help you see a little bit of this pattern. Now, I will make this disclaimer. As I was searching for images of people making this camping setup into structures, I saw people putting it as a cross, which is a very Christian Christian representation of this, Christian imagery. And while it fits with this idea of the New Testament connecting with the Old Testament, and the Christians being connected with the 12 tribes of Israel, this camping structure, just looking at it from the context of Numbers, has much more to do with just kind of organization and structure than I see with foreshadowing. So first, reasons why I say that. One is that organizing a protective structure for order and safety would mean that a military camp would probably not shape their camp in the form of a cross. It would just be harder to defend. So likely you'd have it more compact and more like a box, or more where it's harder for both people to get in and anybody to penetrate defenses there. So I imagine that it was probably more kind of a military setup, military organized, kind of compact. And just imagining too that if there was any issues, you'd have people to be able to fight on the outside and keep the women and children closer on the inside. But I'm not exactly sure how they set that up, because it's not quite a military camp all the time. Second is centering the community around their place of worship, the place of God's presence. If you have these divine interactions with God, people might want to come and see what your God's up to. This as it talked about the pillar of cloud that is there in the presence, and people might be curious to find out what it is. So you need people on the outside to kind of guard against that, and then also put your most sacred and most holy things in the center, which is why the Levites are there in the center. The sons of Levi, the tribe, is there protecting the sanctuary and also functioning as a barrier too, that God's holiness is amongst their camp, but God might witness something that might happen, that people might become defiled or blemished or anything. So the idea is that these holy people who have been designated and set apart, just a reminder that holy is set apart for a specific purpose. And so these holy individuals who mediate the interaction between God and the rest of their brethren, the Levites there are in the center of this place around where God's presence is at. Now, the third thing I see in the structure is a little bit more numerical. It's that the east and the west side have about 180,000 people with them on each side, and so they kind of balance each other well. Whereas the north and the south side have about 150,000 individuals on each of those sides. So just thinking about if you like to build something and build a rectangle, right? You're going to build it so that way the sides are the same length. And so I just see it that the tribes are roughly the same size on top and bottom as they are on to the sides for the east and the west. So anyways, I love math. I love talking about geometry, and I hope you've enjoyed this little math lesson and geometry lesson for today. If you have any good images or can create some and have artistic ability to contribute for this community and anybody who will come after us and being wanting to follow the study and follow it, love to see your resources, love to see what you have to offer, and any gifts that you have for this community. I'd love to hear it and connect with you. So blessings on your study, and thank you for joining us for the first day of Numbers.